The speaking time for this debate is 5 minutes. A single warning bell will sound at 1 minute before the speaking time, and a double bell will sound at the speaking time. Please ensure that your mobile phones are switched off. I declare this debate open, and I call upon the first affirmative speaker, Tim.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, the topic for tonight's debate is that we should restrict the development of AI. We, the affirmative team, believe this to be true. We define "we" for this topic as our current society as a whole. The Oxford Dictionary defines "should" as when it is necessary, desirable, or important to perform an action, and restrict as to keep under control. Continuing, we define development as the process in which something grows or changes and becomes more advanced, and as AI as computer systems able to replicate aspects of human intelligence or accomplish tasks usually requiring human intelligence. To summarize, we define this topic as that it is important and desirable that our current society controls the advancement of computer systems which are able to replicate aspects of human intelligence or accomplish tasks usually needing human intelligence, and we, the affirmative team, strongly believe this to be true. Tonight, as first speaker, I will be discussing 2 points: how AI is going to cause widespread job loss in many industries, and how this automation revolution is something completely incomparable to anything that's happened before. Our second speaker, Jason, will explain how AI could pose a threat to our privacy and describe why AI could mean the end of human civilization. Our third speaker, Zach, will rebut the negative team's points and summarize our team's case. To begin, AI is going to cause widespread job loss, some in the near future and many over a longer period of time. Like with industrial robots used in factories, AI is faster, more efficient, reliable, and cheaper than humans in most cases, to the point where it doesn't make sense to hire humans for most jobs. AI taking jobs isn't some science fiction concept. It's already happening. Research from Global Data shows that Australia has 600 autonomous mining trucks currently operating, with over 300 more to be added within the next 2 years. Since automated miners eliminate all risk of human error and can work 24/7 with more efficiency than humans, it's going to be illogical not to use AI in situations like this. But there are many more industries that AI can be applied to, especially more complex ones. Automated trucks in mines are barely scratching the surface to what AI is actually capable of accomplishing. If we keep developing AI, it's eventually and inevitably going to be able to mimic most tasks that humans are currently capable of doing. This is going to lead to massive unemployment in many fields. According to an MIT tech report, the majority of white-collar jobs could be automated using AI, meaning that many humans will have their jobs replaced by AI. Why should companies hire humans that make mistakes and require a salary when they can just get AI to do the job? Sure, some industries, like human analysis and childcare, are pivotal in having humans, at least for the reasonable future. But how are we going to educate everyone to do these roles? Not every job needs to be lost to cause massive issues. During the Great Depression, the unemployment rate was 25%, much lower than anything this AI revolution has the capacity to cause. Therefore, we should restrict the development of AI that has the capacity to take over jobs, because it will cause an unemployment crisis, the likes of which we've never seen before. Now, to my second point. It is easy to look at the Industrial Revolution, for example, and say huge technological revolutions like this have always led to new jobs that we could never have imagined before. However, this assumption completely breaks when applied to our current AI revolution. When robots of the Industrial Revolution replaced our muscles, we turn to jobs requiring our brains. So now, when the technological revolution replaces our brains, what do we turn to for employment? As aforementioned, there are some jobs where humans are superior to AI, but there is no way an economy could run purely off them. Then, what happens? How does the average person get employed when all of our human qualities could be replicated by AI? One might say that eventually a utopian society will form, where humans are free to chase their hobbies and be creative with no need for work. This is also a terribly flawed assumption. How are we going to ensure that when we will form a utopia and not some dystopian dictatorship where the people in charge, government or corporation, dominate all industries with their massive hordes of AI? Saying that AI will create a utopia is an assumption that puts faith in both the government and the corporations. Either way, the transition between our current society and an AI-dominated society is going to cause huge detriment to human society, as stated in my first point. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, that is why we, the affirmative team, strongly believe that we should restrict the development of AI. Thank you.
I call upon the first negative speaker, Ella.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that we should restrict the development of AI. We agree with the definition given by the affirmative team, but would like to add restrict as to stunt the progression, and AI as an acronym of artificial intelligence in which machines respond to the form of commands given by humans, which exhibits traits of human minds. However, we the negative team, believe this statement is false. The first speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that a widespread of job loss will occur because of AI technology. This is incorrect, because according to the World Economic Forum, the Future of Jobs report in 2020, through AI has expected to replace 85 million jobs worldwide by 2025. It is also predicted to create more than 97 million new jobs within the same time period. When compared, AI is in fact creating another 7 million jobs than the 85 jobs being replaced, such as taxi drivers, whereas the new 90 million jobs in existing opportunities. These will open a whole new form of education and job type that will further extend in our society today. AI is something that is not new and should not be feared, which I will explain later in this debate. The first speaker has also tried to tell you that the AI revolution is taking over. But this revolution's already begun and has caused significantly positive impacts to our society and is something that should not be feared or frowned upon. Today, as first speaker, I'll be talking to you how unrestricted artificial intelligence is better for jobs and how it positively impacts our economy. Our second speaker will be talking to you about how healthcare will be benefited with AI and how it will solve the current climate crises as long as it stays unrestricted and continues to develop. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team's case. I'll be discussing that artificial intelligence makes jobs better when it is in development and not restricted. That unrestricted artificial intelligence has a significant impact on economics and creates progress in the industry. My first point is that unrestricted artificial intelligence makes jobs safer and better. This is because AI is impacting and advancing modern technology for the better. It is becoming more commonly used around the workforce and can offer many advantages. According to Jack Christian, a senior research analyst with the Centre for Technology and Innovation, said it can improve the result and speed of available goods. AI will result in a higher amount of efficiency when working opposed to humans. Human error is one of the biggest problems in workplaces. Not only is it detrimental to consumers, but the producers as well. According to Witzer, an industry manufacturing software company, around 40% of all US workers struggle to keep up with their work, which leads to dangerous mistakes. However, AI does not make mistakes because it doesn't get tired. It would take over dull and monstrous jobs, completing them faster with more accuracy. An example of this would be monitoring security cameras. The facial recognition technology that AI is embedded with would benefit the workers when looking over security footage and be able to pinpoint the culprit. So why are we campaigning to stop the development of such a vital technology? Moreover, a source from VentureBeat, a business advice site, says that AI is making the work environment safer as jobs with higher risk factors can be performed by AI technology. Anything dangerous for humans to do, such as welding, heavy lifting, working with chemicals and like radioactive waste, and simply working in an unsafe environment can be done by AI. Restricting artificial intelligence would create negative impacts on the workforce, so we need to work on developing this technology further. Now to my second point. That unrestricted artificial intelligence has a significant impact on economics and creating progress in the industry. This is because AI is our future. It gives tremendous opportunities to economics and development. A project undertaken by PricewaterhouseCoopers, an international business, estimated that, quote, artificial intelligence could increase global GDP by 15.7 trillion, a full 14% by 2030. This shows that the development of artificial intelligence is extremely important and has the potential to transform productivity in the GDP of global economy. A McKinsey Global Institute conducted a study in China that found that AI led to automation that can give the Chinese economy a productivity injection that would add 0.8 to 1.4% and add points to the GPD. AI technologies have the potential to revolutionize production and contribute to the addressing major global changes. Because the potential growth and advancement, AI should not be restricted in its development. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the Negative Team, believe that the restriction of AI is extremely detrimental to society. In the words of Jeff Bezos, we're at the beginning of the golden age of AI, and we've only just scratched the surface to what's possible. Thank you.
I call upon the second affirmative speaker, Jason.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman. The topic for tonight's debate is that we should restrict the development of AI. We, the affirmative team, strongly agree with this statement. Firstly, I'll be rebutting the negative team's arguments. The negative team's first speaker has tried to define restrict as to stunt an action. However, they have failed to state a reliable dictionary as a source for this definition. Our definition of restrict cites the Oxford Dictionary, one of the largest and most reliable dictionaries on the World Wide Web as of now, and the Oxford Dictionary defines restrict as to keep under control. The negative team's first speaker has also tried to tell you that some AI is beneficial for us, so we should not just restrict their development. We fully acknowledge this. However, this is not the topic. As defined by our first speaker, restricting AI means that we should keep AI development under control. Putting AI development under control does not mean AI is prevented from developing. AI's development will only be controlled such that it will only develop into things that are beneficial for us. I'll be presenting 2 points tonight. Firstly, I will talk about how AI can threaten our rights to privacy and also be used for mass social manipulation. My second point will be on how hyper-intelligent AI could pose an existential threat to humanity. Firstly, the development of AI can pose a threat to our privacy and also undermine our key human rights. Many surveillance systems across the world are already in operation that use AI, most notably in China. Artificial intelligence gathers data obtained from security cameras and then analyzes this data, determining information such as who the people in the video are and also whether or not they're being a good person. Social credits are then awarded to people for doing good things and deducted if what they do is deemed bad by the government. The problem with such an AI-driven surveillance system is that the government can now spy on and punish you whenever you're in a public space, something that is absolutely detrimental to society and our rights. If AI keeps developing without restrictions, then this system could be even more dangerous. For example, a stronger AI can punish you for your emotions or even your speech, something that will be even more dangerous to our rights and something that will also get us one step closer to George Orwell's 1984. This type of technology is not only limited to China, as the US has also started rolling out AI surveillance in prisons and airports. The big problem with AI is that its development can be used for a multitude of malicious purposes, and some of these are absolutely detrimental to society. Therefore, we should restrict the development of AI so that it doesn't so we can make sure it does not develop into something that breaches our privacy. Furthermore, the development of AI should be restricted because otherwise AI could develop into an existential threat to humankind. When someone thinks of AI wiping out humanity, it is easy to dismiss it as a mere science fiction. However, this issue is no joke, with people like Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking stating it as a serious concern. Once an AI becomes developed to a certain extent, it will start to learn information and better itself at an exponential rate, quickly becoming millions of times smarter than a human. The problem with this type of AI is that its intelligence is so incomprehensibly astronomical that we cannot guarantee the AI will be friendly to us. Even if we place the AI in an isolated network, even if we change its code, we still cannot guarantee that it will be friendly. As an example, architects try to design prisons with zero chances of escape, but humans still manage to escape them. We will try to design AI so that it has zero chances to go rogue. However, this AI, which is millions of times smarter than us, will still find a way to escape. If we code an advanced enough AI, it will develop emotions and consciousness, resulting in a desire for self-preservation. There is no guarantee that a hyper-intelligent AI won't eradicate humans if that meant preserving its own life. We should be extremely careful to not take any risk when our whole civilization is at stake. Therefore, the development of AI should be restricted so that we could control the direction it develops in so that it doesn't become an existential threat to humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, that is why we, the affirmative team, strongly believe that we should restrict the development of AI. Thank you.
I call upon the second negative speaker, Jessica.
Good afternoon, afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that we should restrict the development of AI. We, the Negative team, undoubtedly believe this statement is false. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that AI can pose a threat to our privacy. This is wrong, as AI can actually protect our privacy and increase our security. According to TechNando, AI can be seen to adapt to attacks and malware, unlike any other non-AI security system. There are so many opportunities currently with the use of AI and security, and with this unrestricted development of it, we can act on improving it so we can utilize it. They also said that AI could possibly take over our world. This is wrong, as this scenario is extremely unlikely. Although AI can be faster and more accurate at certain tasks, they simply cannot replace us, as they do not have the abilities and functions we as living beings have. AI is used as a helpful tool to assist us in everyday tasks. AI is helping the world become a better place, not destroying it. Our first speaker has already stated that restricting the development of AI misses the opportunity of making jobs safer, and that AI will have a positive effect on the economy and our industries. Today, I will be talking about 2 points. My first point is that the future development in AI technology will vastly improve our under-resourced and overwhelmed healthcare system. This is because the AI applications are used in countless ways within the medical industry, ultimately making it not only more accurate but quicker. AI is helping patients do the simplest of tasks, as well as assisting them with surgeries, improving their success rate. Additionally, according to life sciences, AI technology is being applied to new medicine, allowing organizations to bring them to the market sooner, and to analyze complex data sets that help discover new effective therapies and pharmaceutical drugs. Example of this is in the real world within COVID-19 pandemic. According to the National Library of Medicine, AI technology provided numerous services in diagnostic, risk assessment, and several other jobs within the pandemic. According to the National Library of Medicine, AI technology provided AI has not only helped with millions of people, it has also helped to take the workload of many healthcare professionals. By restricting the development of AI, we are preventing applications of the AI in healthcare systems and therefore decreasing the precision and availability of the healthcare. This will result in an under-resourced healthcare system, leaving millions of people to suffer unnecessarily. Now to my second point, that AI can help solve our current climate crisis, but only if this technology is further progressed. The reason for this is that the development of AI will provide solutions to slow global warming. The United Nations platform, AI for Good, stated as 2021, artificial intelligence can already help the climate crisis in many ways because of its unprecedented ability to transfer systems and sectors to address the climate change. For example, the transport sectors where over 6 billion gallons of fuel is wasted in traffic jams and 30% of transport is running mostly empty, according to studies done by the Global Energy Action Forum 2022. In 2021, the city of Pittsburgh pioneered AI-powered traffic and driverless vehicles. They reported that the traffic jams were cut by 40% and travel time was cut by 25%. If this technology was further developed and implemented, these numbers could only increase, but also expand to other regions, reducing transport carbon emissions sustainably. There are other environmental sectors that can improve through AI, such as sustainable chemical substances, discovery, electrical distribution, disaster response, city design, and agricultural and food practices. The 2021 World Economic Forum noted that all these benefits could be made possible due to AI's ability to assess just like a human, but at a great speed. However, without the further research of this technology, humanity cannot reap the benefits of AI. So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the unrestricted development of AI is not only important but necessary for the future development of our society. AI technology is supporting the under-resourced healthcare condition and additionally helping the climate crisis. However, further development is crucial. Orientan Izel, the CEO of Allen Institutions for Artificial Technology, states that AI, high tech in general, have gone suffering of a bad reputation recently. But with the crisis, AI can potentially do good with the world again. Thank you.
I now call upon the third affirmative speaker, Zachary.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that we should restrict the development of AI. We, the affirmative team, believe this statement to be true. I'll first point out some flaws in the opposition's debate and then summarise our team's case. The negative team has tried to tell you that AI is better for reasons like efficiency and less mistakes. We, the affirmative team, do not disagree that AI can be more efficient or have less mistakes, but we do think this point is wrong. First of all, restrict does not mean eradicate because, as highlighted in our definition, it means to put something under control, which still allows for AI to be developed. For example, future AI can be used to diagnose medical conditions, which is a good usage of AI and will not be stopped. Putting the development of AI under control means that we can closely monitor it and make sure it doesn't develop into something bad. Furthermore, the positives of AI also bring a lot of cons. As our first speaker said, AI's positives over the humans would mean that, as stated by MIT and our first speaker, the majority of white-collar jobs, meaning office jobs, will be taken by AI because it is generally better than humans, thus causing most people in these areas to become employed. So, we should restrict AI because whilst humans may not be as efficient, it is virtually important for AI to not cause a massive employment crisis. The negative team has also tried to tell you that AI has economic advantages. In contrast to this, AI may actually have economic disadvantages, as our first speaker said. For example, first of all, as a result of AI, we've already seen many jobs being lost. This has led to many people who cannot get other jobs being forced to live off government money. In what world is people living in poverty better for the economy? The only people who will benefit from this are the builders of AI technology and companies who may be more efficient or accurate from it, who are already filthy rich. The negative team has tried to tell you that AI can assist people in healthcare. Whilst we do agree that AI can help assist people in healthcare, we believe this is an example of a job humans are better suited for. This is because we possess actual emotions and have the ability to be more empathetic and understanding than a robot. In addition to this, many people may find comfort in talking to a person and not AI. In addition, also, as stated in our definition, restrict means to a desirable extent. And, as our first speaker mentioned, if something is desirable, such as medical standards, they will still be used because that is a very low chance of going wrong, as we said. And it possesses little threat. The negative team has tried to tell you that AI is good for the climate. This is wrong for a few reasons. First of all, robotics create e-waste, which is a large issue at the moment. In addition to this, it is not AI that is going to necessarily going to stop climate change, but human collaboration. Finally, AI brings many cons, as our other speakers have said, and making sure we are not in danger is vitally important. The first speaker rebutted our second speaker's point by saying that AI cannot possibly replace humans, as they are not living beings. However, this is false, because AI are developing at an extremely fast rate. According to Stephen Hawking, it will take 50 to 100 years to replicate humans' intelligence. The negative team has rebutted our first speaker's point on job loss by saying that more jobs may be created from AI. Whilst there will be some new jobs being created by AI, there will not be anywhere near enough to account for the jobs taken. However, they brought up a statistic showing AI would take more jobs than lost. This is wrong, as, according to the New York Times, a projected 1 billion jobs could be lost to AI in the next year. This because their statistic was talking about the present, not the future. Now I will summarise our team's case. Our first speaker, Tim, spoke to you about how AI will cause job loss in all industries, from mining to white collar. He also debunks the assumption that new jobs will be created and that AI will help us form a work-free utopia. Our second speaker, Jason, spoke to you about how AI can be developed into technology that significantly breaches our privacy. He also argued how hyper-intelligent AI would be incredibly hard to control. In conclusion, the use of AI must be restricted. From the possible major job losses to the potential danger this technology poses, it is clear AI must be regulated. We are not saying every single piece of AI should be taken away. For example, medical scanners, as has been mentioned multiple times throughout this debate. By doing this, we are possibly saving billions of people's jobs and stopping a dystopian future. AI was originally developed to help people make life better. But if we are not careful, it could do the opposite and uproot our lives. All we need to do to stop this is restrict it. Thank you.
I call upon the third negative speaker, Zoe.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that we should restrict the development of AI. However, we, the negative team, strongly believe that this statement is false. The first speaker from the affirmative team has tried to tell you that we should restrict the development of AI because it will steal people's jobs. This is incorrect because AI is set to create a massive number of jobs as well. The World Economic Forum stated that in 2020 that even by 2025, AI will have created an estimated 97 million new jobs, and this number is definitely set to increase. But this makes sense. As explained by our first speaker, artificial intelligence is the industry of the future, and so is sure to create many new ideas, jobs, and phenomenons. We have seen the replacement of unskilled jobs to new and more effective infrastructure in the Industrial Revolution, as machines started to take manual jobs, just as they may be now. However, just like before, society will be able to recover from the loss of unskilled jobs due to automation. But they will gain educated jobs that possess new and exciting skills to learn, and in the development, integration, and review of AI. This sentiment was supported by the forum also. This is why we must not restrict its development and deprive people of artificial intelligence's ability to help humans. Also, as the speaker himself stated, AI does human jobs more effectively than humans themselves sometimes. So why should we not use them? Why should we not implement them into our society? If AI can help other people by effectively performing white-collar jobs, as they stated, which can sometimes include medical fields and also secretaries, where helping patients is the main goal, or helping the customer, AI can do this better than humans, as stated by our second speaker, as well, in the medical field. Then it should be used. In fact, it must be used. The second speaker of the affirmative team has tried to tell you that AI will pose a threat to our privacy. This is wrong because all internet, social media, and even your favorite shops, like Woolworths and Amazon, record your information using subscription services. By the logic used by the affirmative team, we should restrict all of these additions to society as well, because they all invade our privacy. As society progresses, there is bound to be change in our world and the way that we do things. However, when we develop this tech as a society, we will also put into place restrictions to ensure it is used responsibly, as we have seen with other tech, like the internet, as I mentioned before, which is regulated using monetization. AI offers people just because AI offers people more insight into our lives does not mean that we should restrict its development and deny humanity its other benefits. He also stated that AI should be restricted because it has the possibility of taking over so many sectors of our world. This is wrong because the notion of AI taking over the world is one that simply is not plausible according to many scientists. AI experts Mikhail Normova and Gina Rometty state that AI could never take over the role of humans entirely because they, 1, cannot replicate genuine human interactions and connections, and 2, cannot possess a complex intelligence the way that humans can. While they can perform some tasks much faster and more effective than us, they cannot replace us entirely because they are not humans. This leaves AI taking over the world as more of a fiction that we would see in a sci-fi film than an actual reality that could ever happen. That is why this fear should not have any impact on whether we restrict the development of AI. The third speaker has tried to tell you that restricting AI development will not stop its use. While this is true, AI's implementation at the rudimentary level that it is now is not as helpful as it could be with further development. AI at this current level is only 80% effective because it has a 20% error rate. This means that with more development, it could become seamless, making it an invaluable tool for humanity. Now to summarise my team's case. Our first speaker spoke to you about how AI can make the worker experience easier, as well as take over dangerous or unsafe jobs. She also said that artificial intelligence offers a massive opportunity for economic growth, as it is the industry of the future and is already generating massive business and revenue. Our second speaker spoke to you about how the healthcare system can be greatly depressurized with AI's ability to diagnose, create new pharmaceuticals, and perform menial tasks. She also stated that AI can help solve our growing climate crisis by transforming parts of industry to become more carbon efficient. So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the negative team, have discussed how artificial intelligence is already vital in so many sectors. However, we believe its full potential can only be reached after further development, research, and implementation. Thank you.
While the adjudicators finalise the result, I'll read this evening's chairman notices. So our winners from today, please see the information desk following your debate regarding guest limits at the awards presentation on Thursday, the 3rd of November 2022. Each team has been allocated 9 places and will need to collect names and contact details by this weekend. And our grand finals will be held at Parliament House on Saturday the 24th September 2022. Please refer to the Debating Essay website for times and all are welcome to attend. There is no need to RSVP. Oh, and the Year 9 division debate times is at 12 p.m.
silence is killing me. Let's give a grave right now. Oh, that was pretty. Did you guys silence for someone?
No.
I now call upon I now invite a representative of the adjudication panel to come forward to announce the results.
So tonight was obviously a panel debate, and as a result, we don't deliver individual feedback. So first of all, I'd like to say well done to both sides. The fact that you're here tonight is excellent. The fact that you've done so well on what would characterise, I think, as an interesting and difficult topic and aspects is testament, to the skill that each side sort of has, right? So well done in that regard. Obviously, no individual feedback. We'll deliver the results, a brief reason for the results, whether that result is split or unanimous, and we'll deliver the debating award. So, by a split decision, we've awarded it to the negative. The reason for that being the negative presented a more thorough case that was directed throughout their speakers. So, that's the reason for that. Well done. As for the Division Debating Award, we've given it to Tim. So well done to you, Tim.
I now call upon the member of the running-up team to give a vote of thanks.
So firstly, we would like to thank the negative team for coming out here and debating with us. We only had 1 week to prepare, so they must have worked really hard to prepare such an amazing debate for us. We would like to thank all the parents and guardians that came out here, as well as the 3 adjudicators for making this debate possible. And to thank Mr. Chairman, Ms. Timekeeper for also running the debate. And we would also like to thank Debating SA for all allowing us to enjoy our hobbies. So thank you.
I call upon a member of the winning team to second that vote of thanks.
So first of all, a massive thanks to the affirmative team.